All right, everybody, good morning. Today, we're going to be going over how you can build an automation flow that connects to an API. Now, in this example, we're actually going to be using a Bitcoin API that gets the price of Bitcoin, and then we can actually use that price of Bitcoin to do some custom conditions, maybe even send a custom email or custom SMS. I mean, really, the sky's the limit on what you can think of and what you can do in this system. And the best part is that there's no code required. Now, let's go ahead and dive in. So this is the flow that we're going to be building. We're going to get the price of Bitcoin from an API. We're going to send an email with that price. And then we're going to say if the price is above 20,000, we're going to do something custom on here. So let's dive in. Now, the first thing is I actually have this flow hooked up to a form. And forms are in the database for a reason, because I want you to think of forms as your store of data, right? So every time someone fills out a form, that data is stored. But you actually get two-way kind of data connectivity with your forms. You can put data in there, you can read data from it, you can add data to your form. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing today with our form. So I created this form over here. And this is a simple form, right? It just has name, email, and zip code. But you see, I got this little gray option on here that says Bitcoin price. And you're probably thinking, how did I get that on here? So if you search for hidden field, you can just type in HI and it'll pop up hidden. You can add hidden fields to your form. And so what that means is, and you just drag this, right? So I'm going to drag a hidden field and I'm going to create a new one, just an example. We'll give this a name like, maybe we'll call this favorite color. Right? Or Bitcoin price. I already have one on here for Bitcoin price. So I'll call this one favorite color. And then I'm going to give this field a name. And this is the name that's going to be used in the back end, right? And so we'll call this again, favorite color. Favorite color, right? And so this adds a hidden field on your form. So this is something that your customers will not see on the form. So let's go ahead and take a look. So I'm going to save this and I can click on the preview link for the form. And you see I only have my 3 fields on here. But in the form designer, I got these 2 hidden ones, favorite color and Bitcoin price. So those hidden fields are going to be my store of data because I want to actually store that price of Bitcoin from the API. I want to call that API, get the response, and store it with the form. And I'm going to use that and I'm going to access that later in the flow. So let's go ahead and go back to the flow designer. So we're going to create a flow and we can go ahead and let's remove the one that's on here now, Bitcoin weather. That's the one that we're going to build together. So I got my form. I'm just going to click on add new. So you can see that this form doesn't trigger any flow right now. I'm going to click on add new. And let's say create new flow. So now I got a flow that's going to run automatically when this form's filled out. First thing we want to do is call an API. So I'm just going to type in API. I'm going to drag the API step. Now, this is kind of like the Zapier type of API integration where you don't have to deal with any code. So that's really cool. So one of the things that we can do is I actually have this API from CoinDesk. And in here, it has the price of Bitcoin, right now. So this is the API URL. If I go to this in my browser, right, you can see it returns a bunch of gibberish, right? This is the API response. It's actually JSON code. But we're just going to copy this URL. And I'm going to go into my flow, and I'm just going to paste the URL. That's what I want. And I'm going to get the data from the API. So I'm going to change this to get. And then I'm going to save something from the response. And so the way you figure out what you want to save in the response is you actually have to see the response and see what it's returning. So this is that, the same funky code right here. That's JSON. I actually typed it into this JSON formatter tool. online, and we can kind of see, well, what does this API return? Well, it looks like it has the price in USD. So there's a USD price, and this is under the thing that says BPI. So BPI, USD, and then rate. And it's this number right here. This is the number I actually want to get from the API. And so this is kind of like a hierarchy of data collection. So I know that this value rate is under USD and USD is under BPI. Now, I don't know what BPI is, and it doesn't really matter. We just know that it's under it, and I want to get to this value rate. So that part's super simple. I'm going to go into the API step, and it's going to ask me for the response key to save. So in here, I'll go back in here. Well, it's bpi.usd.rate. So I'm going to type that in here, bpi.usd.rate. Right, I'm going to double check it, make sure, yep, okay, that one's capital, that one's lowercase, I got it, everything looking good. And now all I got to do is click on where do I want to save this value, right? I could save this on the contact record. I could save it with my form. Now, here's the form that I created, right? And it has these hidden fields that I designed. So I got favorite color and I got Bitcoin price. I'm going to save the response from this API to the Bitcoin price. And so I'm just going to click save, and I'm done, right? So I only needed 3 things on here. The URL of the API, I changed this to get because I'm getting data from the API, and then I just get the value I want to save. And so I click save. Now I got my API step. So there's lots of cool stuff we can do with this. Let's go ahead and add in a condition, right? So I can type in condition, get the condition step. And this condition, we're going to use that price. So I'm going to come in. I'm now going to say, let's look at my form. Let's look at the Bitcoin price field on the form. And when the price is greater than 20,000, right, we'll have a condition. So I'll change the name of this condition to is price greater than 20,000. So we'll go ahead and click save. We'll save this step. And now we got a price condition. So if the price is greater than 20,000, let's do something cool. We're going to send an email. So I'm going to open up the email step. We're going to drag this to the flow, and we're going to say, hi, first name of the customer. All right, hi, first name. The price is above 20K, right? And we're going to say this is from Mike. And I'm going to type in my email address, my demo email, and we're going to launch the email editor, right? And so I'm going to personalize this and say, again, this email, personalized automated emails. We're going to say, hi, first name, the Bitcoin price is currently blank, right? And so I'm going to use a variable for this. So I'm going to go back to my form, and we got the Bitcoin price variable. So I'm going to just put that in here. I'm going to say, thanks, Joe, right? So I'll go ahead and click save. And now I got my email step. So if it's greater than 20,000, we're going to send an email. If it's not greater than 20,000, then maybe no one's celebrating. So we're not going to do anything, right? We'll just go ahead and just deactivate the contact from the flow, right? So you can put whatever logic in here you want. That's the convenient part, is once you get the API response, create your own conditions, do your own custom logic. And that's pretty much it, right? So I'm done integrating with the API. So let's just call this the Bitcoin API demo. I'm going to click publish. And now I got my flow, and it's hooked up to the form. So I'm going to go back into the database, check out my form. I see, yep, my form is hooked up to that flow. So let's actually just copy this form, and I'll go to the link and we'll fill it out. So I'm going to enter this in as Adam, right? And Adam is, I'm going to put in my email address to actually get the email so I can show you guys how it looks. And then we'll type in a zip code, right? And go ahead and click submit. And it says successfully submitted your information, right? Congratulations, we're done. So that's awesome. Now let's see what actually happened, right? So how do I figure out what happened? Well, let's dive into FlowTrack and let's go back into the database. So in the database, I got a new contact, right? Adam. And I click on that and you can see the history of what happened. We had this Bitcoin API demo flow that ran, and here's a list of everything that just happened on this API or on this flow, right? And so I can actually go through step by step and troubleshoot this, right? If I made a mistake on the API call, or I want to figure out what happened when this ran, I just click on that, and I'm going to see all the details. So I can expand this, and I can see the API call that was made. I can see the raw response, right, for the tech people that want to dive in and figure it out. And I can see that the condition ran is the price greater than 20,000. And then it went to the yes branch. And the yes branch, what next was sending an email. And then it sent the email, and then it deactivated the user from the flow. So super simple flow. And I can actually expand this email right here. And there we go. I got the custom email that has the Bitcoin price right in the API. So that's how easy and quick it is to build a flow connecting to any API under the sun. Now, you can get super advanced with this, right? We could grab an API, do an API that gets the weather for the zip code that the user typed in. We can say, hey, I see it's sunny over there in California, and you can build super custom responses and marketing automation with this. It's super easy to use. So if you guys have any questions, definitely post them in the comments. I'm going to be answering them in just a second. But the easiest way to design an API integration is to use that flow. So, I mean, this is going to be a quick video. We're done. That's all you got to do. So if you have any questions, just let us know. Drop it in the comments. We're happy to answer any other questions. But that was it. So thank you for joining me today, and have a wonderful weekend. Take care.